How you doing, Ronan? How are you this morning?
They should really put the red lights on the other side.
I know.
Because all those, I don't know. All I know is I look fat. Of course, that little thing is all you're going to put on the A Designs website. And you go, I look fat. So,
Yeah, let's see.
I was actually doing fine until that red light turned off, but I think I'm fine. I don't know how many records I've made, but it's somewhere in the hundreds, and I've been lucky that a lot of that has been with some really amazing artists.
Recently, I guess Peter had you evaluate some of the new 500 series pieces that,
Yes.
that he's developing
Mm-hmm.
or has developed. How do you anticipate using those, or how would you anticipate others using them?
Mm-hmm.
What was your experience with that?
Well, there's, of course, you have a range of things because Mike Pre's and his EQs, and for the Mike Pre's, I've played with the entire range out there, and I like all of them a lot. But for me, whenever we've done shootouts, my own personal taste, there's some kind of magic element about the Pacifica that just keeps drawing me to it. I'd be happy to work with any of the ones in the line because they're all great. But there's just something about the Pacifica, whether it's against the other 500 stuff or even top tier stuff from other brands, where you listen to the Pacifica and it's like, yeah, daddy's home. It's just sort of big and robust and kind of has gravitas or authority in a way that I really like. So I'm a big fan of all the 500 Mike Pre's, but I'm a really big fan of the Pacifica, and which is why I actually have several channels of Pacificas in my racks, and at the moment not the 500 stuff. Again, the 500 stuff is better than most out there, most Mike Pre's, but that Pacifica is just a little bit better, and if I'm in a position to choose one or the other. But the EQs, which I've just recently started playing around with, I'm really excited about. And basically it's his EQs which are going to make me buy a lunchbox.
Okay.
And the reason for it is one of the reasons why I would go to, one of the reasons I might use sort of an outboard EQ versus any of the options on my console is because I'm looking for something different. Either something very surgical, which Peter's is not, or something that's just got a ton of mojo. And in terms of delivering mojo, the new A Designs EQ just does it in spades.
Home recording boot camp,
Mm-hmm.
and how did that come about? What has been the response? Expand upon that if you could.
Well, the thing with Home Recording Boot Camp is it's an idea I came up with a couple years ago, sparked by two things where I actually had a couple months off, and I'd been getting so many albums that people had done at home that were just lame. It's the kind of thing where I would get these albums and hear the music and go, wow, this would have been a great album if they didn't mess it up. And so I came up with this idea to trying to figure out a way to teach people about the craft of recording, which really doesn't exist out there so much. I mean, there's a lot of places to learn Pro Tools or learn Logic, but there's not a lot of places to really understand the craft of making records. And so we created it, and so far it's been better than I could have imagined. The response has been overwhelmingly positive, and it's always really fulfilling to hear people go away and go, oh my God, my records are just transformed. I've just jumped up to an entire new level after 6 days of digging into this. And really it's been beyond what I expected, which I'm quite grateful for. And in some ways I wish I could do more of them, because really it's only a series of workshops I do a few times a year. I'm just so busy making records that I don't have a chance to do them as often as I would like. But when I do, it's such a great time. And a big part of what I'm doing there is really trying to teach people the value of getting it right. Here, understand the value of front end. And yeah, there's some other tricks we can do later on, but mostly it's about understanding, if you're going for a great guitar sound, trying to teach people how to commit a great guitar sound to tape or to Pro Tools. And then when it comes time to mix, you're basically pushing up faders and dialing in a few EQ things to make it blend with the other elements in the mix.
Would it be fair to say it's more or less the antidote to we'll fix it in the mix?
Absolutely the antidote. Because also part of it is, you know, not everybody has, you know, the space or the money to have, you know, a full-blown nice mix facility that I've got. And the great thing about getting it right at the front end is that even if you have kind of modest tools, like, oh wow, I don't have a big analog console, or, you know, oh, I've only got, you know, a Pro Tools LE small system or an M-Box. Truth is, if you learn how to get things great at the front end, you know, understanding mic placement and using a good set of front end tools, you can actually get really good things with really modest options available to you.
So what have you got going currently and into the future that would be interesting for the audience?
For the audience.
For the world to hear.
What I'm working on now is me and my manager are trying to juggle my schedule, which is, believe me, interesting. But right now I'm working with a great artist named Gene Mazet from San Francisco. Put a great band together with Victor Bassetti, who was the drummer of Los Lobos for about 10 years, and Ian Sheridan from Jason Mraz's band on bass, and G.E. Stinson, who is in Shadowfax, now a solo artist, and I'm playing a lot of guitars and keyboards on it. But I'm also working on my own record, which is me as a guitar player and singer, and drummer Terry Bozzio is one of my drummers, as well as Pat Mastellato from King Crimson, and Tony Levin is playing bass and Chapman Stick, and Mike Keneally, who's, again, great solo artist, but was also Frank Zappa's last guitar player, and Steve Vai, second guitar player. He's my keyboard player. So I'm having a great time working on that record. And then I think I'm off to do another record in Iceland with a great pop band over in Iceland, which we haven't signed the contracts yet, so I won't talk about that one too much. But
Iceland, now this is not the first time you've been to Iceland. You kind of...
It's my 5th time, I think, and a 2nd time doing a record there. I did an awesome band called Kenora, kind of hard rock band over there. Amazing time. I'm actually going to go back to their studio, and so last time I had to haul my own Pacificas over there, and luckily they own their own some now. So
we've got Pacificas in Iceland now.
Oh yeah, I made sure of that.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
So there's a few things that travel with me, and that's one of them. If I've got a rock solid front end that I know and I trust, there's nothing else that can get in my way. So that's the reason why, again, Pacificas travel with me now, a few mics travel with me, and one of my compressors travel with me. Because no matter what country I'm in, you know, regardless of what the studio conditions are in, I know if I've got a great solid front end that I'm covered.
Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure,
Really
absolutely.
appreciate it. So we'll see how it turns out in the end.
Awesome.
Take care.